waste your breath on a traitor. Let's finish him off.
Just you have a try. You aren't any match for me, you dog.
Son of a bitch.
And we are live, yeah. EJ Boxing Live, yeah. I hope you guys are fine. Let's get ready for Mike Buffer.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and let's get ready for EJ Boxing Live.
EJ Boxing Live here.
EJ Boxing Live here. EJ Boxing Live here.
No, man. She says, "Hey, look, this is a disgrace." She says, "Look at his face." Yeah. My man's trying to jump in. We're gonna have a good discussion here today. I'll tell you that right now. To this day, we're gonna have a good discussion. They.
Take a look if you know the words. Come on.
Listen, mate. All right, so enough of me clowning around. Serious topics are up. Andy Joshua is putting funding into amateur boxing in England, boy. England, Scotland, and Wales, where the government have chose not to. So I'm looking to have people come over from the amateur boxing, which is a treat for you guys there. Some of the top amateur and professional coaches to come on. Hopefully they'll jump in and give their take on, obviously, the state of it and how amateur boxing has affected their lives. And gyms are being closed, man. It's some serious stuff, you know. Gyms are being closed in the process because of this lack of funding, and this covert thing is serious, man. So it's a deadly thing, some serious thing. Andy Joshua is a first-class individual, boy. First class. Here's some of him. So let's say he's clowning, playing around with Freezy, one of the top amateurs out there. So have a look at this. Yeah, if you don't know that Freezy, yeah, is one of the top amateurs out there, like, and Andy Joshua was obviously brought him to the gym, and we got a guest for the first time making his debut. Let me get rid of this screen there. We've got Andy Gill to this day. Andy Gill, how you doing, Andy?
I'm good, EJ. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm not on camera today. I mean, I should be, but bro, I'm a bit rough today, boy. Get me. But you got the news. Andy Joshua's putting money into the amateur boxing scene. What's your take?
Mate, yeah, for real. It's what makes the pros. Look at the amount of good amateurs that are in the pros. And you think about all the money that's been generated by them fighters, you know, and I think, you know, good on Anthony Joshua and you know, a few more boxers who are in that elite level earning that sort of money. It should help out.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's lots of how many gyms you know have been closed?
I can't name them all, but I've heard about 7 or 8 closing.
Top gyms, in it. Like, it's a shame, innit? The government.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on. Oh no, I was gonna say.
I think up north, a lot of people, you know, they're struggling. There'll be certain gyms in London. And if you know, you got to think a lot of us are charity status. So my amateur side is all charity.
Yeah.
And without my local community and without funding, we wouldn't have the gym we've got today.
Yeah, 100%. We're 100%. We've put in 6 figures in.
Good.
He's making the government look absolutely ridiculous that they've put all the money into horse racing and everything else, but they left us out. Now, I don't know if it's because we got a split or anything, but the fact that Andy Joshua, he doesn't care as long as the money goes in to help to try and keep the clubs open. Without the amateur club open, there's no Andy Joshua. We don't produce no Jamie Smiths, you know what I mean? No Andy Joshua's, no Dillian Whites, none of that.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it's mate. It's on the flip side of that, and you know, I'm not knocking Andy Joshua, and you know, every penny is appreciated by the boxing world, but it's if you weigh up all the times that coaches put in, the amount of hours of work we put in, every single coach in this country, every single amateur coach in this country, the amount of time we put in, and you know, if you look at the value of that financially, you're talking millions and millions of pounds worth of time that all these people put in.
100%, man, 100%. The little bit of money, Joshua. Well, I could say a little bit of money. I mean, let me ask you. You know, Anthony Joshua, yeah, he's just won a fight against Pulev in the capital in at Wembley, right?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? A lot of boxers have, you know, turned pro, got money, and he could have took his money, went on a holiday, spending it up, you know, in his code of thing. He's just chose to give it back. This, to me, it puts him on another level. I mean, in England, when he done something like that in this time, that shows what kind of man he is, you know. And it's
I know. Hey, look, boxing shapes. It shapes people. It takes people into a different dimension. You know, and the likes of Anthony Joshua is, you know, he's stepping forward. He's helped Sean out, Finchley Boxing Club. He's, you know, bought them kit, bags, and T-shirts, and bought him a minibus, and he bought Sean a car. You know, so his club means a lot to him. And you know, he's realised what boxing's done for him. Boxing's changed him. Boxing's made him a millionaire. You know, it's not. You know, it's nothing else. It's boxing. So that, you know, the likes of Sean guiding him and you know, taking him on his way. Anthony's always respected that and you know, given back. He's always given back to the club. Always. Hats off.
First class.
So all you other pro boxers out there that are earning a mint of money, the amateur boxing world, we're struggling. Every penny will help us. So, you know, put your hands in your pockets and help us out. And we don't want this sport to fall flat on its face. And if COVID keeps hitting the way it does, COVID hasn't just hit us with a 1-2, it's hitting us to the body now and coming back with another 1-2. And it's knocking us down. And how many 8 counts do we have to take before we're knocked out? You know, COVID's messing us up, and we need all the help, you know, that we can get out there. My club's surviving because of local funding, government grants. I've had people turn up on my doorstep and offering us money. Clients, people who do kick fit classes. I had a lady come here the other day and she gave us a £2,500 check, you know, which blew us away. But that's a month's rent. My landlord won't help me out. He won't do nothing. So we have to pay $2,500 every single month, and we're shut.
Oh my God! You don't make it bloody yo. I mean, that's what's going on around. That's what's going around. I mean, basically, they can't afford it, so the club's shut, and then, you know, where do the kids turn to? You know, where the kids going to turn to without any sort of funding like that? Andy Joshua, salute to you, man. You're a top guy, top class guy.
Big him up.
Yeah. But Andy, why we're here? Other coaches, hopefully, they're going to jump in. Let's tell a little bit about yourself, Andy, since you're here. So tell a bit about yourself and how you got started, Andy.
How did I start coaching? It's about probably 22 years ago now, 23 years ago. I started in Hayes. Mickey Lloyd was a good mate of mine, and Freddie Umofio. and they were ex-boxers. We were all around the same sort of time, but Mickey Lloyd was at the elite level of boxing. So he started training down at Hayes, asked me and Freddie to come and help him. We started going down there and doing a bit down there. I spent, I don't know, 3 years maybe down at Hayes. I was at Northolt helping out down there. I went to, where else did I go? I went to High Wycombe, St Albans, and then I ended up at IQ. So that was my kind of apprenticeship. And along the way, I got my level 1, level 2, and it was my apprenticeship. My goal was to eventually open my own club. And 4 years ago, I was blessed that I was in a situation where I could do that. So I opened up the club 4 years ago, and within a year, I done my pro license because Jamie was interested in turning pro, but he didn't want to go with anybody else. He wanted to go with me. And he said, you know, if I didn't go over pro, he wouldn't pursue it any longer. So I turned over for Jamie. So obviously I'm a level 2 GB coach. I'm a fully blown professional coach. And yeah, that's how I evolved into where I am now.
100%, and very successful as well. I mean, Jamie Smith, top amateur on the scene. Obviously now he's turned pro, prospect coming through. People don't know. Been to the camp, helped out Dillian getting ready for the
he did.
How was that for Jamie and that, you know?
It was an experience. He thoroughly enjoyed it. He learned from it. He spent a lot of time with Savage as well. You know, and he's different gravy. He's different gravy. You know, Jamie said the pressure he put him under in sparring. He's never had pressure like that from anybody. And Jamie spars some really good people. But he's, you know, I think the camp, the outlook of things, the way it's on a different level. So it was a good way for him to grow. You know, he took 2, 3, 4% out of that, and he's grown. He's grown definitely.
100%, and you know, obviously the covert thing has halted his career. So what's Jamie and the rest of you guys doing? Obviously through this pandemic, like how you
well, I got Jamie and the twins, Lewis and Courtney, and then my son Patrick is hoping to turn over. So what I've done is I've run 8-week camps. So since March, we've done an 8-week camp, and then we do steady state for a month. Then we go into another 8-week camp, steady state for a month, 8-week camp, and that's what I've been doing with them. So they haven't. The thing with boxing is you can't fall off. If you fall off, you're never going to get back up again, because it is a hard sport, and it's not just demanding as in physically, mentally. You know, it's a constant with boxing. It's probably one of the hardest sports out there, and it's, you know, you have to keep them motivated and keep them ready. As soon as they lose that motivation and they don't want to keep ready, I don't think they're going to come back.
Yeah, and then obviously when they come back to get in shape and to go through the whole thing, it's not easy. I'll tell you, it's not easy. Obviously, lucky obviously for you turned over and your guys have got free, so you considered as elite sportsmen. Is that in this pandemic now? Because we're in, for people in America to understand, we're in tier 4.
Tier 4.
Tier 4. Are you still allowed to train
elite level? So the pros are allowed to train.
They're still allowed to train.
Yeah, they're still allowed to train. The amateurs are not. They're not allowed to do anything at all, full stop. And, you know, and luckily at the moment it's Christmas and things are slowing down. So, you know, I think I've got the boys in tomorrow and that's the last one. They're in tomorrow and that's it. And then they won't be back. I've given them 2 weeks. The only thing I expect them to do is to run. But hitting anything or, you know, any sort of foot drills or conditioning and that is all out the window. The only thing I expect is steady state running.
Yeah, that would tie them over. When you looking to have back in after Boxing Day, whatever.
Well, I've heard loads of rumours now that we might be locked down till March. So It just depends. The amateur boxing world, I don't think will be back September, if that, if not next year. I don't think there'll be anything going on in the amateurs. I'll be very surprised if it does. And the pros, I've heard about shows being booked up August, September, October time, or September, October, November time. Yeah, I know the Goodwins have said they got tickets for them shows. So we just have to wait and see. We really have to wait and see. It's so unpredictable now. I don't think any of us can really predict what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with the small shows like Goodwin, they've suffered a lot. And it seems with a lot of prospects, they're gonna have to take fights that they don't have to. They're gonna have to 50-50 fights just to make some ends meet.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
What's his name again? Is it Florian Marco?
Florian Marco.
He had a fight the other day. He got a draw. I thought he won the fight, but they're taking fights that it's just that whoever wins is the luck of the draw. I guess whoever comes more prepared. There's no build up. There's no build up fights. No softeners. You know what I mean? So
no, there's nothing. There's nothing. It's even with Jamie. I've spoken to Steve and I've said to him, as quick as we can get a Southern area shout, we want it. And Jamie's had 2 fights, but you know what? We're in the position now. I think we got to take it. So I think the next fight he has, we'll do a 6-rounder, and I know you can miss out. So we can miss out the 8s and then we go straight into 10s. Wow. But yeah, we'll be looking to jump quick. We've got no choice. It's if you sit and wait. It could be it could be out the window really quick.
So when you know what? As you're around the gym, I don't think people see Jamie. If you got any pictures of Jamie, and I know you got the belts, and I don't know if you're upstairs, downstairs.
I'm in the gym
nice.
now.
It'd be nice. Yeah, for people that'll be a treat for the people looking around to see Andy Gill's gym. Look, Andy's gonna be Andy's one of the top trainers coming through. So you get familiar with him. I want to get familiar with him out here. So Andy, if you can, and Andy, show some pictures of.
Can you see that?
There you go. Yeah, I can see that. Perfect. There's you. Yeah, there's Jamie Smith there. Was that after he won the English title? That's the whole
whole plan. There's his English title.
That's when he won the English title. Move it down a bit, Andy, so you can see the English title a bit.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the English title, you see?
Yeah.
Excellent. And this is the amateurs, you see? People can't see. You see the medals around his neck. These are all amateurs. Yeah, to getting him ready for the pros. He's a pro now. Getting him. He's there. And now you're gonna have to try and. What we saying, Andy? We're gonna have to fast track him. We're trying to fast track and try for something.
Yeah, it's time, EJ. It's well. What do we do? If this vaccination does what it's meant to do with this COVID, then maybe we can take time and think. But the southern area is the bottom of the runner, isn't it? If we can fight for the southern area and win that, we can have maybe 2 or 3 more, and then maybe look at another title. The English, the British. I don't know. We have to move him up. And the thing with Jamie's, and you're going to hear every coach probably say the same thing about their fighters. Jamie's a quality act. He's not nothing that's made up. He's quality, and he's not a big mouth. He doesn't sound off and try and pretend something he's not. Jamie's a quite humble lad, but he's sparred a lot of good quality people high up on the table. I'm not going to go into names, but he's sparred in the top 15 on a regular basis, and he always he holds his own. So I think the southern area, I think it's a good title for him to go after.
100%, man. So there you go, man. Go prospect and your top gym, and Angie, so Andy, you see the amateur. So do you know exactly how the funding's gonna be going when AJ puts the money? Do you know how it's gonna work, or who gets the money or whatever?
I wouldn't have a clue. I think obviously he's donating that to England Boxing, isn't he?
Yeah.
It'll probably go direct to England Boxing, and I think England Boxing got to look at all the clubs throughout the country and think, who are in the top 20 who are really struggling. And I don't think it'll be about equipment and stuff. I think it'll be a bit about
rent
paying rent.
Yeah.
If they're not a charity state club, then they'll have to pay their rates. Clubs that have got, you know, leaking roofs, doors that are falling off, toilets that don't work properly, they'll have to make a hit list and go through the hit list and get the work done for the clubs.
100%.
You know?
Yeah. It's a really hard time and people trying to stay safe. As I said, the COVID is a next strand or strain or something like that. So
there's a new strain out, and that's what all the panic's about at the moment. But the strain apparently is spreading, but it's not killing.
Yeah, it's not killing.
But, you know, I think there's 35,000 extra cases within 7 days or 14 days, something like that. Yeah, and it's a worry for, you know, the vulnerable. That's where the worry is.
Yeah, 100% for the more elderly and stuff like that, man. But yeah. I mean, I thought I'd do. Yeah, go on.
I think one thing COVID's brought out is some really good bouts. Some, you know, it's brought out some really good bouts and some surprising ones as well.
Yeah.
It's been.
Go on. Go ahead.
It's been enjoyable. Some of the bouts have been enjoyable. You know, so it's good. It's good.
So hey, we was talking about on chat or Sham's platform, the Canelo fight with the Canelo fight versus Callum Smith. I mean, me and you got that prediction wrong. I'll tell you what I did. Yeah? I'm like, every time. Go on.
I didn't just mess up the prediction. I lost a load of money.
How much you put down on that one?
I don't know. I think it was a monkey I put down.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, but
go on.
I shot it out through the rounds. No, you know what? I like the underdog. I love the underdog.
Yeah.
It's my whole boxing thing's been about the underdog. So whenever I go to tournaments, even with the amateurs, because I'm low key and I don't really make that much of a noise, I think people look at me and think, you know, yeah, don't worry about him, his club. And so we've always kind of been the underdogs.
Yeah.
Even with Jamie, when he fought for the British title, the English title as an amateur, we went, I think it was at Middlesbrough, and there was a hall with about 600 people, and it was like football chanting, and they was, you know, putting Jamie down and not you know, being very negative towards us. And Jamie's walked in, he's humble, he's quiet. I've walked in, we ain't said nothing. Jamie put the kid down in 45 seconds. Yeah, with what did he put him down with? An rear hand uppercut, lead hand hook. And then the kid's got up, he's hit him with 2 body shots, and then the lead hand hook, he was out. Jamie just looked at the crowd and he bowed. He bowed. And, you know, it was, so yeah, the underdog, I love it. I love underdogs. I love all that. I think the people who are really hyped up and they're expected to win, they're expected to do a certain thing. You know, even with Anthony Yard's fight, he was a favourite, wasn't he? He was a favourite. He was Arthur was overlooked. Arthur was the underdog. He's a quiet, humble lad, doesn't say too much. Pat doesn't really say a lot. I know Pat personally, and I get on really well with Pat. He's a real gentleman. But you didn't hear nothing from them. You know, everything was low key. They went out and done what they needed to do.
And I tell you what, it was that fight there. Even that, there's a guy called Muggsy Malone. He's done a music video.
Yeah. I know. They sent me the video. Yeah, they sent me the video. Mate,
you don't need the right hand when the left hand stings. Oh.
Yes, that's it. But Bugsy he was a boxer himself.
Yeah, he was a boxer.
He was a pretty good amateur boxer. Yeah, he was pretty good. He can handle himself. He's not a fool. He can handle himself. Yeah, he was. Yeah, but it was, you know. Yeah, I'm a great believer in the underdog. Love him.
But you know, I was gonna say now. Listen. On the reels, if any time I see a height, reach, disadvantage, I'm always gonna pick that guy, because in my mind, if they use their stuff accordingly, then they should win the fight. Callum Smith, I don't know what.
Didn't use it.
Nah, look,
This
listen,
thing,
me, and you, look, we picked the right guy. Yeah, it's just that he didn't believe in himself. His coach
no,
didn't believe in him. The dad outside the ring had more belief. He
yeah,
was yelling outside the ring. He didn't do nothing. I mean, he was supposed to come forward and impose his will. At least at least get the guy going backwards. It never happened. You know, he just went back
yeah,
the whole fight. The man conceded. And then, you ever see swelling like that on someone's arm before?
mate. If you if you're a hold on 1 minute.
That's all right.
If you're it's combat. So if smart coaches will take the armor away. Yeah, your bicep is part of your armor. Your shoulder is part of your armor. Your eyesight's part of your armor. You know, you bust someone's nose or keep hitting them in the nose, you're gonna have tears in your eyes. Your vision's slightly blurred. You know, if you keep getting caught on the elbow and then you got to throw a punch out, you know, you're gonna feel pain throwing that punch. And your body is armor, and you need to dismantle that armor slowly. You know, you need to pick the points, and that's what Canelo done. Canelo done a number on his arm, but there's no law saying that he can't do that.
Yeah.
There's, you know, it's smart boxing. Canelo's movement, everything about him, and even when I come onto your chat before, and all the, you know, who was that, the young ladies, and
Lady Sham, yeah, Lady Sham. That was
yeah,
the Sham, yeah.
Xavier was on it, and there was Tunji and
Tunde and
Tunde
Tony and Cisse.
yeah, you know, it was what they were saying was right, and there was nothing wrong in what they were saying. I knew Canelo was a class act, so that they weren't saying anything that I didn't know. It's just I thought if Callum Smith come out and fought like a tall fighter, and he moved his feet smartly, he would have been able to pick him off.
I agree.
You know, but obviously on the day of the fight, you know, it didn't happen, and I lost a load of money, and I kind of cried for a little while.
I did as well. It wasn't a good way to finish off the year. I mean, there's some other fight, but that was like the last major fight of the year. Let's go back to the Yard fight. It's the same thing, isn't it? Lyndon Arthur and the Yard. I mean, in that fight, most people pick Yard. I mean, I think I did at the time. And Lyndon just he just used the jab. He used the jab out Callum. I thought Callum could use it. You know what I mean? On Canelo.
I backed Lyndon Arthur on that fight.
Did you bet money down? Oh, if you bet money, it was all right.
No, I didn't put nothing down on that fight. Actually, I should have done.
Yeah.
But I saw him live on a BT show. I was doing. I backed someone up. I done Jerome Campbell's corner.
Yeah.
And
he was on the card. He was the main event, innit?
He was on that card, and I tell you what, if I was in the background of the studio watching it on a television, and when you heard him snap the jab, it echoed through the building. It was like the snap of the shot was unbelievable. And straight away, I never really took much notice of Arthur. And then straight away, I thought, wow, like, you know, kind of overlooked this kid. And then I got, you know, obviously talking to Pat, you know, I got talking to him a lot more and kept in contact with Pat. And, you know, it was, started learning a lot more. And then I started studying Pat a little bit and seeing what he was like as a boxer. And then straight away, I thought, you know, once you start looking into Pat's background, you're thinking, wow, this geezer's class.
Yeah,
he's not, you know, he's not a, you know, he's not a pretend coach or someone who's just jumped through the ranks and made out they've done, you know, this, that, and the other. He's actually done it. And, you know, when that fight was called, I was actually, where was I? That fight was being spoken about when Jerome's fight was on. They were actually talking in the future, saying,
they were. Yes, right.
This is what it could be. This is what it could be built up to be. And I was in a room with Pat when that was being spoken about. And then, you know, I spoke to Pat in depth about, you know, what would Lyndon do and da 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 da. And he was saying his jab is second to none. And then when I actually seen him throw it at that show, it was like, wow, he could actually win anything off that jab. It is that snappy.
Yeah.
You know, it's an unbelievable tool. And Jamie, I do the same theory. Your jab, all my amateur boxers, your jab is a key component. For me, boxing is movement and jab. Movement and jab. If you got them two, you've already got the defense in, because the movement causes the defense.
Yeah.
You know, and then once you bring the backhand in, and then you start putting up, you know, you build the defense up. You've already got a rounded fighter. Then hooks, uppercuts, bent arm body shots, they're all optional extras in my eyes. You know, but if you train an amateur from an amateur days, you know, you train male or female, and you train them with good footwork, a good jab, everything else just falls into line. And then if they turn pro from that, wow, you know, you're just, now you're slowing things down, and now you're starting to produce the power.
Well,
you know, so
yeah, well, you should know, but listen, you're on your journey, and people are gonna follow you. We're obviously following your journey. We got guys in the chat. You guys in the chat, you want to ask questions to Andy? Feel free to do that while we're here. You know, we obviously we comment on Andy Joshua donating money to amateur boxing here in the UK, and me and Andy's chopping up about the fights that's gone and talking about amateur boxing. What was your take on the Daniel Dubois and the Joe Joyce fight?
So what I mean about hype. Nothing against whoever I speak about. I've got nothing against anybody. I'm not a disrespectful person like that. Evaluating what I've seen that day, Daniel Dubois did not execute. He was too cautious. And the thing is, if you keep getting smacked in the eye with the same shot, well, hold on a minute. First round, okay. You know, so say it's Jamie. All right, Jamie, I'll give you that. You made some mistakes, but what happened to blocking? What happened to parrying? What happened to leaning back? What happened to stepping back? What happened to slipping? Where are all these fundamentals that I've taught you? You know, and I always say to everybody in my gym, you get caught with a shot twice, do something about it. Exactly. Don't get caught with it the third time, because if you do, I'm going to put in the white towel and pull you out. Stuff that. If you're not going to practice what you've been taught. And Daniel, unfortunately, I don't understand where the basics of boxing was that night. You know, because Joyce was doing basics. He threw a jab.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I
mean, I saw him spar when he was 17 against Derek Chisora. And he more or less done the thing. I think he tries to impose his will on guys and intimidate people. But it's the first guy he actually sparred who actually was jabbing over the top of his jab. And he was getting caught in the head. I don't know if he was trying to outman him or trying to out-tough him. Because he did have spots, but he looked like he had too much bulk, man. Where was all
it's not even that, EJ. If you weigh up what Joyce stood for, and you weigh up what Daniel, like amateurs, where are their records as amateurs? So Joyce's experience, what he learned back in the day, now is kicking in. And he's thinking, right, I've got to do this. This geezer has got dynamite, so I've got to keep away. I've got to pick him off with my jab. You know, and every time he does come near me, cover up, protect myself. Then step off, go back on the jab. And keep aiming for the same spot. Well, he ain't protecting it. Well, why am I changing it? I'm going to keep popping that eye. There we go. There's another one. Pop. There's another one. Pop. There's another one. It's gonna, you know, it's gonna wear the kid out, isn't it? Your body will only take a certain amount of damage, and then it'll start packing up. And you know, people can't imagine the pain that Daniel must have been in. You know, I think it's probably the first time he's really been under that sort of pressure in his life. And you know, I know people are going on about quitting and boxers shouldn't do it and blah blah blah. I don't think he's ever been in that position before, and he didn't know how to cope with it.
Yeah,
it was
sad. It was sad. It was sad.
It was, brother. It was, without a shadow of a doubt. It was.
Sad. It was sad, but at the same time, he's put a lot of beating on other people. When it was his time to get it, you know, people saying about quitting and that, but and my thing is like, oh, the fighter's gonna do what he's gonna do. Whether taking a knee, or whatever. But he was in extreme pain. I've seen fighters like Donaire have a broken orbital bone. He's covered one side of his eyes and continued to fight. But he, you know, the thing is, Daniel, when you got heavyweights, yeah, this is the thing about boxing. Heavyweight boxing, getting hit in your face by a heavyweight guy, that's not something you wanna.
It's not fun, mate. It's not. To be honest with you, it's not. You know, heavyweights, cruiserweights, middleweights, they can all punch. The punching power is unbelievable in some of these. I'll take Jamie on the pads. Jamie's 91 kilos, but mate, if you see the way I train myself, so these things here, these are built. They're solid because I have to take some serious punishment. But Jamie slipped a couple of times and hit me, and I've seen stars.
That's not funny. Yeah, that's not funny, man.
I've seen stars. It's not funny. I've seen stars. Jamie he punches like a mule, and imagine that with 10-ounce gloves and no head guard.
Fuck.
You know, it's whoa. I wouldn't even want to.
Imagine.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
But I mean, that's what Joe Joyce was packing on Daniel Dubois' face, man. Auto bone swelling. You know, he said some stuff before the fight, but you know, you don't wish that his career was just virtually starting. It looks like, I don't know if it's over before it started. He's got a lot of time. You know, the corona thing situation.
He's still got time, Daniel. You know, I wish him all the best. I hope he has a speedy recovery. Yeah. I think he's got to sit down and maybe look at his former training, how he is training. He's got to be explosive. He's got to be a 4 or 5 round man that will destroy what's in front of him. He ain't a 10 rounder. He ain't a 12 rounder. He could be, but not with carrying that amount of bulk. And you look at Joyce, he's been a juggernaut ever since day one. Yep. In the amateurs, mate, that kid people used to look at him and think, how does this kid keep going? You know, it's non-stop. It's not, so his body is already used to doing that. Where, you know, Daniel, I think it needs to go a little bit lighter. He looks, to be honest with you, he looks like he's doing Frank Bruno sort of training where, you know, he's bulky and, you know, he's stiff and he looks more like a bodybuilder than he does a boxer.
Yeah. Got a question for you, Andy, from John Dilly. Does Andy think Daniel's corner should have throw the towel in? I believe that they should have stopped that fight. I think it was in the 8th or 9th round. Daniel was complaining when he come back to the corner. The corner, you need. I'm a professional cornerman. You need to take the law into your own hands and go, do you know what? A fighter will always keep going. Yeah. And I would have stopped it in definitely the 9th round, maybe the 8th, but I would have definitely stopped it in the 9th round and said to Daniel, we live for another day. Yeah, because even though he was up on the scorecards, yeah, right, and he might get a shot for a world title and that, you know, the confidence of the kid is extreme. I mean, you know, the fight was stopped. They had him up on. I didn't think he was up on the scorecards, but you know, they had him up on the scorecards, and that was the big thing. But I was like, I want a rematch, and I was like, but he wasn't. I didn't think the fight was even close.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either.
And that goes into the Lyndon Arthur fight with Andy Yard. I thought Lyndon was up like at least about 5, 6, 7 rounds, man. 5 rounds at least.
Yeah, I had Lyndon about 4 rounds. 4 rounds. I thought he was in front. You know, it wasn't a pretty fight to watch from neither one of them. But you know, due to circumstances, I know he had a damaged hand. He done what he needed to do, and the jab worked. You know, he picked Anthony off, and that's what he done. You know, there's no excuses. And I know Anthony nearly knocked him out, but that was once in the fight. So that was did he get a standing count?
Nah.
You know. Nah. So, you know, it wasn't an 8-10 round then, wasn't it?
No. I mean, I scored it that, so I had it by 2, but end of the day, that was it. Joshua's donated the money, so hopefully, you know, maybe he can save some clubs. It's a shame that didn't happen earlier on, so we'll see what happens there. The big fight, Fury and Joshua, who you got? Who you got on that one? You're the underdog on that one. Who's the underdog and who you got? 50-50, go on. Let's talk about
I got Fury.
Go on, tell us why. Same thing again.
Fury.
Right.
Fury. So I'm going to look at it as black and white on paper. If I wrote both of the boxes down on paper, I think Fury is skill factor is I think he's got the edge on Joshua. His foot movement, his hand movement, his reactions. He's an accomplished all round fighter for me. Anthony. Hats off to him. He's done well. He's the world champion. You can't get no better. I salute the gentleman. Well done to the lad. But for me, Fury edges on every level. Maybe not one power. Maybe Anthony Joshua's got a little bit more power than Fury. But I think foot movement, head movement, defenses. Speed of punch. I think Fury beats him to everything apart from if Joshua landed, they both landed their power punches. I think Joshua's got more power than him.
Yeah.
So, and it's like the heavyweights, anything can happen. But for me on paper, Fury's got it.
My thing, when I think about that fight, and the common theme about all the three fights I mentioned, Joyce, Daniel Dubois, Anthony Yards, and Joyce, and now we're talking about Fury and Joshua. The common theme that I realize in this is they're amateurs, right? When I break it down. Now, when I think about the amateurs, Fury didn't have an extensive amateur career, and the amateurs is where you test yourself, right? Joshua went all through the program. He's done everything asked of him. He's done everything asked of him in the right thing, the frame of mind, the discipline, the constant professional as a pro. And when I look at them sort of things there, and it's the same thing I took it on board with Joyce. Yeah, I knew he was older, but then I was like, but he's got more experience. What I think, the more consistent and the more experience in terms of the level of stellar level of competition. Yeah, he's beat Wilder, right? Great. He's beat Klitschko. Great, right? But it's a steady level of competition. With Fury, it's like he steps up to the big plate, goes to another country, then he comes down a level and fights these guys that no one cares about. Then he goes up again and wins there. So he rises and goes up to the occasion. But a steady level of proper top Povetkin, Parkers, you know what I mean? Klitschko himself and all that.
Yeah, Joshua's definitely had. He's probably had the better opponents than that. Yeah, but what you got to remember with Tyson, he had mental health problems, and I think the thing with Tyson is if he like when he kept getting let down. I think it was by David Hay.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It drove him up the wall, So I understand why they get him opponents, whether they're good class or not. It's for his mental well-being. If they keep him in the ring and keep him going, mentally he's strong. If they don't do it mentally, he'll go back to what happened to him before, and none of us want that for him. He's a class act. I wouldn't want him to put on loads of weight and get involved in drugs, and I wouldn't want that for anybody. But I wouldn't want to see, Tyson go back there. He's a good ambassador for boxing, and anybody in the boxing world, I wouldn't want, if they've been there already, I wouldn't want them to go back there. And as a coach, if I need to get him a lesser fight to keep him sane, I'm doing it.
100%. John Dilly's got another question for you. Yeah, what do Andy think about AJ's hand speed and his head movement against Pulev?
He was in that particular fight against Pulev. His hand speed, it was clinical, because you look at the way he put him down. It was a straight 1-2, and bang, it was all over. I think AJ, since Ruiz, he's a lot more cautious.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Klitschko. Klitschko was hit and grab, but he kept his world title belts. He won the fights, and he done it smartly. And I don't know, AJ is he seems I don't know, maybe a little bit nervous.
Well, it would be, listen.
Yeah.
And you're with Jamie, and we're not talking about obviously Jamie losing anything like that, but it affects a lot of things.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So I think the way he being more apprehensive, I think that's the right way. But Joshua, unlike Fury, Klitschko, something, he's knocking all the guys out, man. He's knocking the guys out. I mean, the guys. Fury's only been knocked out by one, so that's what I was talking about, the levels and that, and that's why I think AJ will win, because he's consummate professional, and I understand about the mental demons that a fighter does. But there's a documentary about, I don't know if you've seen it, about Hector Matsu Camacho. He had loads of demons going into the ring, so I think the fighter,
mate, all fighters have got demons.
they've all got
fighters,
it's how you
coaches.
control it,
It's the way it's the way our society is, mate. It's the way, the amount of boxers I've seen cry before and after, mate. If I make a speech about my boxers in front of people, I cry. I get emotionally wrapped up in it, and I don't know why. You know, put me out to have a street fight, and I don't care. I'll just switch off and go for it. But I do a speech about any of my boxers, I have a tear in my eye. I don't know. It's just the way we're built, mate. Unfortunately, and I think, you know, a good coach will always help through the demons. He'll always try and carry the demons, and you know, it's having an understanding and watching for the signs. You know, luckily for me, none of my boxers are on drugs. They've never taken them. You know, they're not alcoholics. I don't, you know, I'm always on the phone to them. I speak to all my fighters on a regular basis, all of them, you know, and we have an understanding. If there is a problem, they'll come to me. And that's, you know, that's the beauty of the relationship I've got. Thank God.
Yeah, because Dillian White was going through it when that whole drug allegation went. Luckily, he got through it, but he was going through a dark time at the time, and you know what I mean. And he can be very mind taxing on the brain and stuff like that. And
it can be.
With the Fury and AJ thing, whoever you pick is no one. But I'll tell you what, it's good for British boxing.
Wicked, mate! It's probably going to be one of the best. Hopefully, one of the best fights that's, you know,
ever.
I'm hoping that way. Yeah, EJ, I've got to shoot because I'm running over. And man, it's, as always, a pleasure to talk to you. And anybody listening to this, hit this man up, follow him. You know, get on social media to him. He's a top interviewer. I've got plenty of time for him. We do bits together, me and EJ, quite on a regular basis. He'll come down the gym, and you know, he's a sound character. So thank you yet again for
tell the people where they can find you. Hey, tell the people where they can find you, though. Obviously, like, talk to you. Obviously, follow Jamie's career. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you want to follow any of my pros, go on Instagram. It's Evolve Elite 2019. All my pros are on that. All the training programs and everything we do, I stick them all on that. If you want to follow my amateurs, it's Evolve_boxing_academy. And you'll be able to follow all the amateur stuff and what we do in the amateurs. And my phone number's on there. So if there's any boxers out there that are struggling, that need a hand, or, you know, mental health, they want to chat, my number's out there 24/7. You know, so don't hesitate to call me. And if you want to talk through things, it's not a problem. Andy, that's why we're here.
Yo, Andy, thanks very much for coming over and giving your contribution. And we definitely keep in touch, too, Andy. Thanks very much. Take care.
All right. Nice God bless my brother. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. That's Andy Gill for you guys there. What we're going to do, we're going to take a short break, and then a short break. Hopefully, some other guests will come onto the show, and we'll talk about Anthony Joshua donating the money to amateur boxing, which is really important. So try and get some more other guests. And in the meantime, you guys have a look at Andy Joshua hitting the bags and that, you know.
Don't waste your breath on a traitor. Let's finish him off.
Just you have a try. You want any match for me, you dog?
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting for some other guests to come in. Let me read some of the comments in the chat, man. Andy Joshua is like first class. You know, the thing is, yeah, he reminds me of, like, I'm telling you, he reminds me of Joe Lewis. Joe Lewis, when he was in the heavyweight champion, right? He gave his money up to charities in the army. He came back on him because they'd done it for taxes, but obviously, I don't think that happened to Andy Joshua. But hope people appreciate. Yeah, you enjoyed that interview. Yeah, Abs, man. Yeah, Andy Gill. It's top guy, man. I'm trying to show you some pictures of Jamie and that. Jamie and Andy boy, he got some real top fighters. I tell you what, Andy's fighters are no joke. Yeah, all these fighters, they got a lot of amateur experience, and that's what I'm saying. Andy evolved, like his gym's called Evolve Boxing Academy. His gym, yeah, built up from the amateurs, and now they're pros, and they're trying to make their way through the pro scene. So hopefully, you're gonna see you got him there. He's easy to talk to and everything like that, but. Without the amateurs, where would he be? I'm glad Joshua's donated the money. I'm trying to get some other people who want to interview it, but it's one of them ones that, it's Christmas time. It's hard to find anyone. Let me try and get Tony Cisse, because Tony knows a lot in it. I'll be with you in a minute. Yeah, Coach K. Hey, thanks, Coach. Subscribe to Coach K if you ain't already. If you're just here, man. People are hard to find around this time of the day, but so the news is out. I can read what Andy Joshua was saying, actually. No one. Let me get what they're saying about Andy Joshua. Britain, Joshua 31 gave six-figure sum to amateur boxing federation, England, Wales, and Scotland. For you guys don't know, like England, even though we call it the UK, it's got three countries in it, three main countries: England, Ireland, and Scotland. But Wales is not going to get no money. Ireland is not going to get no money, then, eh? Without the grassroots boxing, there's no Anthony Joshua. He said it's true. It's 100% true. And it's the thing, right? This covert thing, the government is not really donating no money towards it. So Anthony Joshua, out of his own purse, is putting the money in. I mean, that's how many boxers do that while they're in the top of their game and they've got money to donate to help out the amateurs, So hopefully that money be well spent and they'll pull it into the right places, the clubs that need it the most. So it's a lot, boy. Listen, hopefully, this is one of them things there. But shout out to Andy Joshua, the first guy. For me, this guy is the people's champion, 100%. He's a world champion already, right? But now he's the people's champion. And when him and Fury fight, made the best man win. That's what for he's a jolly good fella. That's what they say in England, isn't it? And that's what I can say in that one. Whoever wins that fight, Andy Joshua and Tyson Fury, may the best man win. Yeah, that's it, really. I mean, I was going to come out. I thought other people would jump on, but at least we had one guest, Andy Gill. When it comes to this thing, it's a sensitive subject about England boxing and stuff like that. And yeah, at least Andy came over. But anyway, I'll wrap it up now because there's nothing really more I want to say. I thought I'll put it out there. You guys, if you're coming video late, make sure you thumbs it up, subscribe, and subscribe to everyone that's pass it around and join the debates over on Coach K's channel, The Round Table. Jump Abs and the rest of the guys, Joe over there, John Dilly, Raphael Dawkins. Shout out to my man Iron. I always get his name. Iron Kong 26. Yeah, make sure you sub to him as well, man. He's a very good channel over there in the Caribbean. And yeah, man. There's no more to say, man. It's just I'm just happy Andy Joshua's donated the money, but we'll see where it goes, man. We'll see where it goes. I'll follow up on another story. If anything else come up, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Don't waste your breath on a traitor. Let's finish him off.
Just you have a try. You want any match for me, you dog? Son of a bitch!
Message to all the fans watching it. Wish them a Merry Christmas, and also why should they watch the fight?
You should watch this fight because this is what boxing's all about. This is about putting your O on the line. This is about putting what you believe on the line. You think you can win? Step up in the big fights and let's see it. You can talk the talk, but when the lights come on and you walk out the O2 Arena into a little ring 20 foot by 20 foot to fight another man, this is the pureness of the sport. Why boxing is the greatest sport in the world, bar none. Let's build the hype, let's watch the excitement, and let's see the purity of British boxing explode and unfold February the 3rd, O2 Arena.
Thanks very much, Eddie.
You know what? I was gonna go, yeah, but I just realized, yeah, there's a guy that I want to show you, innit? Freezy, right? If you don't know about Freezy, amateur, this is what I'm saying. He's one of the characters in amateur boxing right now, popping off. I was just gonna go, but I realized, yeah, I think you guys should see him. So I'm gonna give you guys a treat. Yeah, welcome to Freezy's world. So I'm gonna share the screen and let's get into Freezy. Let's get into Freezy's world. Freezy, boy. What a character he is. All right, let's get to Freezy. And this I was trying to show you how amateur boxing produces these type of people. I think it's this one. Yeah, okay. Hopefully everything should be all right. Let me check, make sure everything's all right. You guys should be seeing what I'm seeing right now. Yeah, it's everything should be right. So you get the chance to see. This is one of the biggest, the characters. You just saw him shadow boxing with Andy Joshua. Andy Joshua had his phone in his hand. You see him drop his phone. Free at his towel. All of a sudden, the Freezy rolls up. Freezy don't care. He'll roll up on anyone. Let me see. All right, let's go.
Buffer handle. Let's get ready for EJ Boxing Live.
That's good, Freezy. Keep coming forward.
Let's go then.
Feezy. Feezy from Miguel's, right? No, from Double Jab. Was it Raw Sunday?
Smoke Sunday.
Smoke Sunday, that's the one. See, let's see Feezy. He got a knockout yesterday. Excuse me for shaking the camera. But let's see it. Yeah.
Now you've got to get a win as well as an office.
What, he's done already?
Use your jab. Cover the jab. Climb up.
Hey, what's the old saying, innit? Never hook with a hooker, innit?
Cover the jab.
Yeah, it's got everyone. This one's got a big crowd. Let's see if it lives up to it.
Two jab. Cover the jab.
That's what his club's called, Double Jab.
Cover the jab.
Yeah. Ooh. He's coming for it again, you know.
Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Straight shot, single. Don't wait for it, single.
Ooh. Oh, he's explosive, man. That left it is vicious, bro. I think he's winning this round. He's just looking for one punch. Them West Ham boys, yeah, they're fit.
Right punch, he's single.
Look at the body. He's up the hooks, what he's trying to do. Let's get his head on.
Straight punches, say no punches, people.
Are you serious, bro? Yo, he won. Oh, great. Hey. Hey, bro. Let's go. See? Let's go. Struck. Come on.
That's the world of Freezy, man. I'm gonna show you one fight, yeah. This fight is ridiculous. So I might as well just show you some amateur fights that I got here. Like, I don't think people will probably checked it, but this one here is savage, bro. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna show you right now. Pull this one out. So you check this one out. Yeah, so Andy Joshua's put money into the amateur boxing. So let's show one of the fights. And this is what Freezy, who's shadow boxing there with Joshua. This is one of the fights, man. I tell you, this one's raw. This one's raw. One of the best fights I've seen. You know what I mean, it was all over the UK when it came out. Well, it was London anyway. So in this fight, it's a knockdown drug affair. Freezy gets knocked down, and the guy gets knocked down as well.
It can go two ways. It's either they are very, tense and like they don't want to land a lot, or it's either this both go for it, like confident.
Well, ladies, James just don't start with one.
Hey!
So you can see here at Freezy weaving, bobbing and weaving, he's gonna get put down. Yeah, look at that. Freezy gonna get put down in a sec. Yeah, this fight was wicked, man. Live, people went crazy. I'm basically showing you some of the top amateurs in our country. We're in London anyway. Rolling underneath.
Take it easy. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Let it go.
Let it go. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Don't get tired, chef. Don't get tired. Hey. Hey. What? Hey. Hey.
Take your time.
Hey. It's wide. Free trouble.
Take it easy, brother. Take it easy.
Hey.
Push up. Push up.
Hey. 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 Hey.
Go stop, easy, go stop.
Let's go. Oh my God. What is going on? Master shit. Bam! Hold on. Hey, what are you man saying, bro? What are you man saying? What are you man saying? What are you man saying? Hey. Man down. Man's laughing. Hey, yo, I'm closing the comments now. Yeah, I'm closing the comments.
Take it easy, man. Take it easy. He goes anyway. Use your technique. Use your technique.
Hey, yeah. Yeah. Don't keep your hands up, boy.
Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo.
Oh, my God. Hey! What? 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 Hey! Hey!
That's it, boy. That is it. That's Freezy for you. I got next up a coming guy, Brian Hawingi. I don't know if you guys know who Johnny Fisher is. He's the new signing for Matchroom, and he went against Brian Hawingi in a heavyweight bout. This is a very good, exciting fight. So I'll probably play this as well. So I was hoping other people would jump in, but you know how it is. Let me see. No one's jumped in. We've got a lot of comments there. You guys keep putting the comments in. Appreciate it. Let me find Brian. Let me find it. Okay. All right. So check it out. Round 1. Run it back.
Let's go, Brian. Let's go, Brian. Let's go. Let's go, Brian.
Use your jab. 1, 2, middle.
Brian, you gonna work it, Brian. Work it, Brian. Good boy. Keep working, Brian. Work, Brian. Work, Brian.
1, 2, middle. 1, 2, middle.
That was a good round. That was the first round. See, round 2. Yeah, I'm just showing you some amateur bouts, man. If you just tuned in, Andy Josh has donated some money to England boxing. I said UK boxing in the UK, so just showing you some amateur boxing, that some good amateur fights that I was there. I attended, and some of the next top amateurs coming through. Brian Hui, obviously we know Johnny Fisher's turned pro, so he's in the ring right now. Round 2.
Weapon Brand. Let's go, Brad. Work with him, Brad. Let's go, work with him. Let's go, Brad. Work, Brad. Work with him. Work. Let's work, Brad. Work. Good.
Yeah, I'll show you who Johnny Fisher is in a set though. You can see what I'm saying. So he's Johnny Fisher. He trains with what's his name again? Mark Tibbs, Dylan White's former trainer. So this is the last round. It was an epic fight, and after this he turned pro. So I'll show you Johnny Fisher in a sec so you can have a look at him.
Let's go, Brad. Hey, Brad, let's go, Brad. Keep it warm, John. Keep it warm. Come on, Johnny. Let's go, Brian. What?
You have to dig deep, John.
Let's work, Brian.
Come on, John. Push him up and work. Come on, Johnny.
Listen, listen.
Come on. Shoot him!
Hold on.
He's a big fucking horse. Come on, John!
Let's go, Ryan. That's brutal.
And that is that. Let me show you. Let me show you. So, Brian Awingi's still an amateur, and Johnny Fisher is signed to Matchroom with Mark Tibbs. So look, it's him. He's the next one coming through. So keep an eye on him. The Romford Bull is his nickname. Here you go. Have a look at him.
I'm always going to be an exciting fighter. I know I'm really going to give it my best and really be physical. That's always in my makeup. That's who I am as a fighter. Don't blink because I'm here. I'm here to stay. I've boxed since I was 6 or 7, but I really had a good go at it when I was 14, 15. I became London champion. I got to the quarterfinals in a national competition. All my victories as a senior amateur boxer, round 1 knockout. So yeah, I'm not that experienced, but I'm explosive and I know what I can bring to the table.
I knew some guys from Romford that was looking after him, and he caught my attention. The way he moved, his athleticism, and his punching power. I made some contacts to try and get him down to Loughborough, actually, to give him some rounds with Dillian. He would have done the job for Dillian White, I think, against Parker, we wanted, as one of our sparring partners. But he was tied up with his amateur responsibilities at the time, so it never happened. But a couple of months back, we crossed paths. We had a trial, a little touch base with one another, and we're here now. So, I'm just trying to refine him a little bit and slow him down a little bit. He's very eager, punches very hard. He's very, very popular, and might we need to go a long way.
I'm already picking things up, and it's gelling really well.
So there you go, man. That's the Romford Bull. So you see how the amateurs done well for a minute. When he was fighting Brian and Wing, it was like 2 men. They was fighting like 3-2s, you know. So, you know, this is what I'm saying, how important the amateur scene is, you know. Amateur scene is so important. You know, how are you going to build fighters? Without that, how there's no Romford Bull, right? There's no Freezy. Yeah, Freezy. There's no Freezy. Yeah, without the amateur system, where do you produce characters like him, like Freezy? Doesn't happen. You know what I mean? So big up to Andy Joshua putting the money back into the amateurs. You know what I mean? And that's what it needs, man. Like Joshua has stood up to the plate, stepped up to the plate, and that's what it needs, man. Some of them fights there, you can catch them on my channel. I didn't really put their names in the title really because their careers are still going. But when they become famous, and maybe I'll make a bit of money out of them. But the Romford Bulls, he's turned pro. So he's gonna be fighting. I think in the card in January. So you're gonna get first class to see for yourself. I'm guaranteed he's gonna get knockouts. That kid, he's 20, he's 21 now. Big kid. And I think Brian was 22, 23. So there wasn't much in it. Also, Brian sparred Joe Joyce. I was there when Brian went down to spar Joe Joyce. So the amateurs is so important. Like I said, the next Anthony Joshua coming through is round the corner. You know, Vladimir, when he was champion, that's when all these Ukraine, the Usyk, the Vasily Lomachenkos, all of these guys came out there. With the Shabranskys, maybe not him, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? All the guys coming through. So without people like Anthony Joshua, you know, donating their money in, what are we doing? You know, what's happening? What's happening in a boxing game? Before I finish, actually, I was gonna finish. I keep saying I'm gonna finish. Let's talk about the International Boxing Hall of Fame inductees, Class 2 2021. Yeah, man, look, that's a star-studded cast. Dr. Margaret Goodman. She was on what was the cast? She was on someone's show recently, and then she was doing a podcast. I can't remember now, but she's very important in the drug testing in boxing. I'm not too sure about this Tamara or whatever lady type. I don't know too much about her. She's a trailblazer in women's boxing. Another notable name, Davey Moore, who lost his title to Roberto Duran and was a world titleist. He's been inducted. And then you have Money Mayweather or the Pretty Boy Floyd, whichever you want to call him, being inducted. You know what? Obviously, that's a good look. I got Layla Ali, she's done so much for women's boxing. Also being inducted with Bloody Ann Wolf, and I hope them two don't get into a scrap when they're getting inducted. You got Vladimir Klitschko. I forgot to ask Mr. Bashir when he came in. You have SOG, Son of God, Andre Ward. That's a starred cutting cast. People said other people should be inducted, but it is what it is. That's going to be June, between the 10th and the 13th weekend, and in Canastova. So congratulations to all the Hall of Fame inductees coming in. And like with all these guys, Andre Ward, gold medalist in the amateurs. Vladimir Klitschko, gold medalist in 2006 medalist. Floyd Mayweather received this, I think it was a silver or the bronze, whichever it was, in the it was the Olympics in America, wasn't it? The Atlanta Olympics, right? Layla Ali, I don't think she had amateur, but you know what I mean? I could keep going on. Without amateur, what's going on? So Anthony Joshua stepped up to the plate. Salute to him. And congratulations to all the inductees into the Boxing Hall of Fame. And now I can say truly I'm finished today. So boy, it was good having you guys over. You guys take care, have a safe time, and avoid that corona or avoid that COVID-16 or 19, whatever. And I'll catch you guys on the rebound. Peace.